They found a ship drifting in the middle of the Atlantic. Not a single soul on board. Food still on the table. Sails intact. Captain's log open. But the crew, gone. No struggle. No blood. No sign of life. Just silence. And the endless sea. This is not a legend. This is the real story of the Mary Celeste. It was December 4th, 1872. The Atlantic Ocean was calm, yet holding a secret no one could explain. A British ship named De Gratia was sailing near the Azores Islands when its crew spotted another vessel drifting silently over the horizon. Her sails were partially torn, her movement unnatural, as if guided by ghosts. As the De Gratia approached, the captain raised his spyglass and froze. The ship's name, painted in fading letters, read, Mary Celeste. The Mary Celeste was supposed to be on her way to Italy, carrying barrels of alcohol and a full crew, including the captain's wife and daughter. But now there was no one. Not a single soul on board. When the sailors boarded her, they found half-eaten meals on the table, the captain's logbook ending abruptly, and a baby's toy lying near a bunk. The lifeboat was missing, but the cargo was untouched. No sign of struggle, no blood, no damage, just silence. Everything looked as if the crew had simply vanished into thin air. The weather had been calm. There were no pirates nearby. And yet, the Mary Celeste drifted alone, haunted by an invisible tragedy. Over the next few days, the De Gratia crew towed the ghost ship back to port, but the mystery only deepened. Investigations, theories, and rumors spread like wildfire. Some said the crew had been poisoned by alcohol fumes. Others whispered of mutiny, or sea monsters rising from the depths. And a few believed something darker. Something beyond reason. Because to this day, no one truly knows what happened aboard the Mary Celeste. When the Mary Celeste was finally brought to Gibraltar for inspection, authorities were stunned. The ship's cargo of industrial alcohol, still intact. The captain's log, last entry written just days before she was found adrift. But where were the 10 people who had sailed her? The official report couldn't find evidence of a storm, mutiny, or attack. Even stranger, the ship's lifeboat was missing, as if the crew had fled willingly. But why would experienced sailors abandon a perfectly seaworthy vessel in calm waters? Captain Morehouse of the De Gratia, the man who found the Mary Celeste, was questioned again and again. Some accused him of foul play, claiming he had killed the crew to claim the ship's insurance reward. But not a single piece of evidence ever supported that. Then came the rumors. Whispers spread through taverns and ports that the Mary Celeste was cursed, that her captain, Benjamin Briggs, had defied the sea gods, or that the crew had seen something so terrifying. They jumped into the lifeboat in panic. There were even wild tales of phantom ships appearing at night, and ghostly figures seen on her deck after she was recovered. Sailors began to avoid the name Mary Celeste, calling her instead the Ship of Death. When salvage crews examined her hold, they found 9 barrels of alcohol leaking. Some said the fumes might have caused panic, that the crew thought the ship would explode and escaped, never to be seen again. But if that were true, why didn't they come back? The sea had been calm for days. Every explanation led only to more questions. And as time passed, the truth of what happened faded into myth, leaving only a legend of a ghost ship that sailed without a soul. As news of the Mary Celeste spread across the world, theories began to multiply like the waves of the Atlantic. Everyone wanted to explain the mystery, but no one could. Some believed the ship had been attacked by pirates, yet not a single valuable item was missing. Others thought the crew had mutinied, but Captain Briggs was a respected man, deeply religious, known for his calm nature. He had no enemies, only questions left behind. Then came the supernatural explanations. They said the Mary Celeste had crossed into the Bermuda Triangle's shadow, where ships vanished into other worlds. That strange lights had been seen above the sea, lights that made men lose their minds. One sailor swore he'd seen phantom figures walking her decks at night, whispering names no one remembered. A scientist later proposed that alcohol fumes from the leaking barrels could have caused an explosion risk. Perhaps Captain Briggs, fearing for his family and crew, ordered them into the lifeboat temporarily. And then a sudden storm or wind separated them forever. The ship, lighter without them, drifted silently until it was found empty, untouched, eerie. But even this theory had holes. The weather reports showed calm seas. No signs of struggle. No wreckage of a lifeboat ever found. Years passed and the Mary Celeste changed hands. Each new captain who tried to sail her spoke of strange happenings, unexplained noises, flickering lights, and the feeling that unseen eyes watched them at night. Some said she was cursed from the moment she was built, that something in her would, or the spirit of a sailor lost long before, refused to let her rest. By the late 1800s, she had become the ocean's greatest ghost story. Even today, no one knows what truly happened to the Mary Celeste. No final message. No bodies. Just a ghost ship drifting in the fog, forever carrying the silence of those who vanished without a trace. When the boarding crew from De Gratia stepped into the captain's cabin, everything looked wrong. The bed was neatly made, a child's toy lay on the floor, and half-eaten food rested on the table untouched for days, yet perfectly preserved by the cold Atlantic air. The ship's log ended suddenly, mid-sentence, 9 days earlier. No mention of distress, no note of mutiny, no storm. Just silence. In the cargo hold, 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol stood sealed, except for 9. Their stoppers were loose, the smell sharp and dizzying. Investigators later wondered, had the vapors forced the captain to panic? Did the crew fear an explosion so badly that they fled the ship, never to return? Yet nothing else supported that theory. The lifeboat was gone, yes, but the ship was seaworthy, her sails trimmed, supplies intact, and even the navigation tools still on the table. Why abandon a ship that wasn't sinking? Some said pirates. But there was no blood, no stolen goods, no struggle. Others whispered of seaquakes, sudden fogs, or rogue waves, nature's ghosts that erase men without a trace. And then came darker rumors, that the Mary Celeste was cursed, that whoever commanded her was doomed. Over the years, every man who tried to sail her met misfortune. Until finally, the ship itself vanished beneath Caribbean waters during a botched insurance scam, as if claiming her own revenge. What really happened aboard that lonely vessel remains one of the sea's most haunting questions. A ghost ship, adrift in the Atlantic, its crew swallowed by silence, leaving behind only their shadows and a name that still chills the world, Mary Celeste. Months after the Mary Celeste was found adrift, investigators tried to piece together the truth. But every clue only deepened the mystery. The ship's captain, Benjamin Briggs, was known as a God-fearing man, devoted to his wife and 2-year-old daughter, both of whom were aboard. Mutiny seemed impossible. The crew had no reason for rebellion. They were experienced sailors, handpicked by Briggs himself. Then came the theory of alcohol, fumes that a leak from the cargo might have filled the hold with explosive vapors. Fearing an imminent blast, the captain could have ordered everyone into the lifeboat temporarily, planning to return once the danger passed. But perhaps a sudden wind separated the lifeboat from the ship, leaving them to vanish forever into the vast Atlantic. Others claimed the crew might have mistaken a mirage, a distant fog or wave, for danger and abandoned ship in panic. But skeptics countered. Why would an entire crew, including a captain's wife and child, leave behind their meals, their belongings, even their lifelines? And then, there were darker whispers. That Mary Celeste wasn't found empty at all, that someone silenced the crew before vanishing. But no blood, no violence, no struggle was ever proven. Over the decades, countless writers, sailors, and historians have revisited the case. Some call it a maritime Bermuda Triangle, others a psychological tragedy of fear and isolation. But the truth? It lies somewhere beneath the cold waves, lost with the souls who once called that vessel home. Even today, more than a century later, the story of the ghost ship continues to haunt the world, a reminder that the sea never gives up all her secrets. Years passed, and the story of the Mary Celeste turned from a sailor's rumor into one of the greatest maritime mysteries ever told. Writers, poets, and filmmakers began to retell it, each adding their own theories, their own fears, their own ghosts. In 1884, a young author named Arthur Conan Doyle, long before creating Sherlock Holmes, wrote a short story inspired by the Mary Celeste, titled J. Habakkuk Jeffson's Statement. It was fiction, yet so believable that people thought it was the truth. The legend spread across oceans. The ship itself met a cursed fate. After being sold several times, it ran aground off the coast of Haiti in 1885, deliberately wrecked for insurance fraud. Her bones still lie beneath those Caribbean waves, decayed and forgotten. But her name, Mary Celeste, never sank. To this day, sailors whisper about her when the fog rolls in. Some say her ghostly outline still drifts under moonlight. Others claim to have seen a faint lantern swinging on her mast, moving with the rhythm of a phantom sea breeze. But maybe the real ghost isn't the ship. It's the question she left behind. Who were the last souls aboard the Mary Celeste? What made them vanish without a trace? No one knows. And perhaps, no one ever will. Because the ocean keeps its secrets, and some stories were never meant to be solved.
Thanks you for watch. Every old story holds a lesson worth remembering. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe for watch and listen more old times, real stories, and don't forget,